Welcome, ENC students. This is your professor, Michael Bloomingberg, and I have decided to put this video together to show you some of the things I'm looking for in terms of my writing lab. And what you see here is the course home for my writing lab. If you need help getting registered, remember to go to the Starting Here help resource, and remember too that you want to make sure you register your MyWritingLab through Blackboard. Do not go to Pearson's website to do that. Go through Blackboard because our MyWritingLab is linked in through Blackboard. So from the course home, once you're registered and you're in, you're going to see something that looks like this. And you want to always click under Writing Skills to access your learning path. So I'm going to click that. And what that's going to do is open up the modules that are available that you're going to be working through. And the first one that you will see is Basic Grammar. So that's going to be your very first module. I'm going to click on that. And what you're going to see are a couple of different columns. The one on the far left is a topic list, and you'll see that there are pencils next to each one of those, beginning with parts of speech, phrases, and clauses, going all the way down to prepositions as the last topic. These are the assigned topics that you will need to complete for the first basic grammar module. And every module will have a different number of topics that you'll need to complete. However, on the other side are listed activities. And the very first thing that you'll see is an overview, and if I click on it, I'll open it up, but I just want you to note that each different topic has the same activities associated with it in terms of the structure. So if I go back to parts of speech, phrases, and clauses, I'll click the overview so you can see what that looks like. And it's linked, so you'll want to click it again. And so what the overview does, and I'll adjust the camera a little bit, is it just gives you the general information on each topic. It's basically the lesson within each listed topic. So you want to make sure you spend some time looking over it so you're familiar with the topic. I'm just going to click out here and go back to my learning path, readjust the camera just a little bit. And the second thing, once you've done the overview, it will automatically give you a star by the activity. Animation is essentially the same thing. It just puts it in a more visual context. And you can see what it looks like there. And so do look over it. There is audio with this, so if you're watching this at home for the animation, you might want to have your speakers on so you can get the audio as well. Again, I'll click out and I'll once again go back to the learning path, adjust the camera just a little bit. So the overview and animation are going to introduce you to each topic. When you get down to the recall, you want to start with Recall 1. This is where you're going to do the actual work involved in each module, so I'll click on that. And with recalls, it's a series of 10 questions, each of which is multiple choice. And so you're going to answer them, and then once you've done so, you can go back to your learning path, which I'm not going to actually complete one. But I want you to note that you need to answer on each recall 8 out of 10 to get a mastery. And what mastery is over here, you'll see there's a star by each one. Overview and animation are easy to get your mastery. You just have to look at them. But for the recall, you want to try as best you can to get at least 8 out of 10 of those answered. That will let you know that you're doing well on the lesson, and it will also give you the mastery that you need. Mastery just means that you've demonstrated your knowledge and you don't need to repeat those particular parts. There's also apply. I want to show you those because those are quite a bit different. It just opens up as one question, so you'll just click the link. And what you're going to find here, I'll adjust the camera just a little bit. It's opening right now. This is a passage, and the first one here says to identify the verbs in this passage by clicking on linking verbs, main verbs, or helping verbs. And each option, each word, as I go through, you can pick if you think it's the verb. And there, you can't really see it, but if you look on the very bottom, you'll see a score and remaining option. It tells you that there are 10 verbs to find, and each time you find one, it'll take one off the list to let you know how you're progressing. Be careful on this one, though, because if you pick something that doesn't, for example, in this one where you're looking for verbs, if you pick one that's not a verb, it will count it as being wrong, and it does deduct from your score, so you do need to be careful. If you don't want to do it in one setting as well, down on the bottom there's a save for later option that you might want to note. But I'm going to click on that actually, and I'm going to go back. Be careful too, because as you can see with this red right here, it's reading me as incomplete. So it just means that I haven't completed the exercise. I'll need to go back in and do that. If you have any technical issues, let me know. But one thing I do want to let you know is, unless it's a technical issue, I do not give resets for MyWritingLab. So what you earn is kind of what you earn. And note too that you have 2 attempts for both Recall 1 and Recall 2. Now if you do well on Recall 1, get your 80 or higher, it is your prerogative to move on to the apply at that point. Also note that oftentimes if you score an 80 and you're trying to get a 90 but you score lower, it should still take your high score, but if you have issues with that, let me know. Here's the key to each one of these, the post-test. That's the key. That's what's going to allow you to get a star on the actual topic listing over here. So parts of speech, phrases, and clauses. It's all hinged upon the post-test. The recall and applies you do need to complete to get your mastery, but the mastery over the whole topic list is with the post-test. So I'll click on that. Gives you instructions. It lets you know that you have 10 questions and that your mastery is 80%. So that means you need to answer at least 8 out of 10 correctly to get your points. I'm going to click Ready to Start and adjust the camera a little bit because it's going to load up. And move back just a little so you can see. Okay, so it's multiple choice, and so again, based upon your understanding of overview animation, your work with the recall and apply, you can take your post test. Please note that if you get your 80% or higher on the post test, you're ready to move on to the next topic. So note that. You have 2 tries to get your 80 or higher. Your question might naturally become, what do I do if I don't get mastery on these post tests? You need to keep moving forward, but one thing that I will be looking for is to make sure that you have, especially if you take one post test and you really struggle, I want to see that you go back and spend time with the recalls and applies so that it shows me you're trying to improve your skill level to get that 80% or higher. For this post test, you would just answer which one you think is right, click your answer, and click Next Question. Do not click Submit Test. If you click Submit Test, what is going to happen is it's going to submit your whole test. And you don't want that to happen because you've only answered one question out of the 10. So be careful with that. Remember that it's your answer followed by Next Question until you get to the end when you can submit your test. If I go back, man, I didn't mean to go back that far. Let me load back up the lab. Sorry about that. Okay. That's the ins and outs of the lab. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for solid effort. I'm looking to see that you're improving your skills with the recalls and applies and trying your very best to get to 80%. And then I'm looking to see that your post-test reflect that as well. So you want to turn, what'll happen is as you work through these pencils right here will start to turn into stars if you're mastering the modules. It's not feasible to think you're going to master every single topic, so let me state that. You're going to have every student stronger in some areas than others. So some of these may be a little problematic for you, but your goal again is to get mastery over as much as you can. If you don't get mastery over, let's just say parts of speech, phrases, and clauses, but you've exhausted everything you can do, go on to the next topic. It'll just all factor into your score. Which reminds me, if I go to click on my learning path, it may not show, but I'm going to click on all modules, maybe my course home, view completed work, if you see that from the home page. And sometimes you get a little message, but just click that. And from there, that will give you an update on how you're progressing grade-wise on these when you click to show your overall score, and that gives you a breakdown of how you're progressing. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have questions in terms of what I'm looking for on the MyWritingLab, feel free to email me. Make sure you check with me and as well as Blackboard to see which modules are due in terms of due dates. But hope you found this helpful. Good luck with the MyWritingLab. Let me know if you have questions. Bye.